Tonight, the Chicago Wildcats host the Mexico City Aztecs in a battle of two teams desperate to stay out of the will they or won't they conversation of the playoffs. Mexico City just about 20 minutes ago clinched a spot, became the 7th team to do so, but they'd like to get out of the wild card conversation and back into that top 6. Updated playoff scenarios, the Blitz Live schedule for next week, and so much more. Sit down, put us on your TV, full HD, have some fun, let's go. Welcome to the Thunderdome in Chicago, Illinois, alongside Nathan Blake on stats. Stephen Mullinex, I'm Cameron Irvine. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing great, Cam. Let's get this one done one more time. What a great night for SFL football. Two powerhouses facing off together in Mexico City and Chicago. These two teams have met previously this season. We'll talk a lot about that and their keys to the game coming up.
Starting lineup scrolling across your screen. The coin toss is coming up next. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Twitch TV. All right, let's get the coin toss. Mexico City in their color rushes tonight. And the Aztecs win the toss. They will choose to defer to the second half. Stephen, why don't you give us our keys to your game, and if you can turn your mic down a little bit, they're saying you're a little hot.
All right, coming down a little bit. First of all, for Chicago, they are 4-1 at home, so they like that home cooking. They need to get pressure on quarterback Matt Wilson, who had 3 interceptions in their week two matchup. 2 of those picks by the great free safety Morris Spurgeon. For Mexico City, they have got to make sure and get to E.T. King. 0 sacks the last time these two teams met, and he went off for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Cole Varner's got the ball on the tee and the hand in the air. Mexico City, kick it. We're underway here on the game of the week. As that ball goes 1 yard into the end zone, will be returned out by Corey Carter. Past the 20, Carter not much after that. As E.T. King will come out for the first series for Chicago. And for those that don't know, it is Stephen Mullinex's final regularly scheduled telecast with me here on Twitch.
And it's been a wonderful time, Cam. I can't thank you enough for the honor of getting to do color commentary next to you. Truly one of the greats, not just here in the SFL, but anywhere, in my opinion, in football commentary.
We might not have a duck, but we have Stephen Mullinex tonight. 1st and 10 at the 20. The handoff goes to Jared Willis to start. Willis gets smashed by Jeffrey Daggs. Only a gain of 1 as Daggs comes down from his free safety spot to make the tackle.
Yeah, and that might be a bad sign for Willis, who struggled the last time these two teams met. Averaged just 2.8 yards per carry, had 26 rushing attempts for 74 yards and a touchdown.
Direct 900 says Steven is better than any duck. I would agree. 3 even the Affleck duck. 3 receivers for E.T. King. Gonna fire it deep down the field. The pass is caught in double coverage. What a play down the field. Buchanan Simons for the Chicago first down.
Well, once again, proving it's more important the action that's down on the field than us calling it, Cam. That was a wonderful play. I'm sorry we're not going to get this chance to see the replay, but you got to love the faith King has in his wide receiver there, putting it between 2 defenders.
2 receivers and 1 back in the backfield. That is Willis. King going to throw again. Flips it out quickly to the second tight end on the depth chart. That's a 6-yard pickup, but that's Trevor Driver, who's actually used in this offense quite frequently.
Chicago comes into this game 6-4, Cam. The Aztecs that you mentioned have clinched a playoff berth at 7-4, something the Wildcats are still trying to do. Playing here at home, only having lost 1 here at home so far this season, it looks good for Chicago early.
AJ pick 6 with 400 bits. Eric JDWA with 1,000 and a special 50 from Colin Northrup. All for Stephen Mullinex's last broadcast as Jared Willis picks up a first down to the Aztec 47-yard line. This is good news for Chicago, who as of late has been a bit up and down.
Yeah, Cam, good to see this balanced offense. I know that owner and coach Shan Varner wants to have a balanced offense, wants to be able to face multiple defensive fronts, and this is one of the toughest defenses he's faced this season.
Hand off Willis, and Willis trying to fight through. It's been a bit more tough sledding for him, a pickup of 3.
Yeah, but has cracked the 1,000-yard mark already this season, Cam, with 1 game to go. He's got, coming into the game, 1,047 yards and 7 touchdowns. Also, 77 receptions. Just shows you what kind of a receiving threat he has out of the backfield.
Mexico City, 7th in the league in run defense, giving up less than 100 yards a game. 2nd down and 7 for King. King will fire it out to Willis out of the backfield, right on cue, Steven. Big hit right at the first down line. They're going to mark him 1 yard short. Tackle made by Fran Agawa.
And that's what you want to see on a 2nd down. If you can't get to the first down marker, you're making a real convertible 3rd down here for them. And they can choose either to shock this team. Maybe they'll throw the ball here. I would probably run it, especially in this power formation.
3rd down and 1 at the 38. 3 backs in the backfield. The handoff goes to Willis. Willis first down, a whole lot more. Pretty blocking up front as Chicago's offensive line winning the battle, and Chicago's in scoring position.
Well, we saw Sioux Falls last night use this same formation, the strong power I. They ran it to the outside. Chicago runs it to the inside between the tackles, and it gets them a first down.
Ron Cochran, 1,000 bits for Steven's last broadcast. Had a couple of 50s too. Boy, Steven, I'm telling you what, man, I'm gonna need to take you out to dinner here.
You're gonna owe me some money after this one for sure.
1st and 10 to the 28. Thank you so much, community, for your
guys.
love and support. King deep, caught at the 12. What a drive for Chicago here in the opening possession. Corey Carter has another move of the chains.
And this is just perfect ball placement over Pablo Zamora, the strong safety, number 29. And Cam, Zamora has 9 interceptions on the season, so dangerous here. Actually, Zamora was in the back of the play, but his stats still stand. 9 interceptions on the season, tied, actually a 3-way tie for the most in the S12 so far.
4 minutes in. This has been a long drive for Chicago. The last time they faced Mexico City, they converted 3 4th downs on their final drive to win the game south of the border, as that pass is caught for a 3-yard pickup. That's Austin Matrullo in the slot. And
Cam, I just really like what they're showing here. You know, typically when we see this kind of field progression by a team on a series, it's those short passes combined with a good running game. But we've seen Chicago not be afraid to go deep twice already on this series. I like that coming from them. They're being really aggressive.
After this drive, we'll show you the updated playoff picture. 2 receivers, 1 to either side, as King will drop to throw. 5-step drop. King looking for somebody to get open. Deep into the corner. It's caught for a touchdown. What a throw and catch for Sham Varner, and it's 6-0 Chicago.
Woo! If you're Chicago, you gotta love that. Sham Varner, your tight end, have struggled to get him involved all season, but E.T. King and Varner, you know those two have a connection. And here it is just a 50-50 ball. You send it up there for your 6'6", 225 tight end and let him go get it.
Man, how about that? Chicago, who struggled to get in the end zone at all at Houston last week, making some major adjustments here. Of course, the week before that, humbled by Alaska, as the Storm has scored 50 points in back-to-back weeks after getting a threat from Chicago, from San Francisco. The extra point is blocked. Mexico City blocks the extra point to end the drive.
And Cam, that's a statement right there by this Mexico special teams unit. They are coming for blood despite the fact they just got scored on.
There's the playoff picture updated after all the games this afternoon. Alaska has rumbled into 2nd. Sioux Falls up to 5th. That's the first time we've seen him in the top 6. And there you go. Mexico City, Chicago, 7 and 8. We'll break more down as the night goes on. This is from the 9-yard line, and it's Jeffrey Daggs past the 25 up to the 30. And if you have not experienced the MeUndies U-Boat Fan Night Game of the Week on your big screen TV, please do so. 1080p, crystal clear tonight.
Yeah, better than it's ever been. And I've enjoyed the league on a big screen monitor for several seasons now, and well, I just don't know any other way to watch it.
2 receivers, 1 to either side. This is Matt Wilson, who just passed 25,000 yards a few weeks ago. His team is down 6. Handoff to Ray Bentley, and Ray Bentley gets speared. Chicago's run defense led there by Dylan Rowland. Not too bad either.
Yeah, and Dylan Rowland's been doing that all season. Already over the century mark for tackles, 108 tackles on the season, 12 tackles for loss. This guy is ranked 5th in total tackles in the SFL right now.
Second down and 10 at the 30. 5:50 to go in the first quarter. For Wilson against 4 down linemen. Hand off to Bentley again. Bentley going to break a tackle, and Ray Bentley picks up 6 yards on the play. That's his best run of the day.
Well, you can be sure we're going to see a lot of the Bentley tonight. 103 yards and a touchdown the last time these two teams met. 23 carries. That's 4.5 yards a carry. If your running back is getting those kind of totals, it just makes everything on your offense go a lot easier.
Third down and 4, 5:20 to go, first quarter. Wilson, pass complete to Richard Montague. Boy, there's no other pass that Matt Wilson completes better than that little slant inside on the money to Miracle Montague.
Yeah, and it's helped him have a 67% completion rating on the season. Already has 3,000 passing yards on the season. This guy's one of the best and a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Chat shout-outs, Thomas Paternitti, Denver Nine Wings, X Factor 56, I'm effing problem, AJ Pick 6. Scrolling up, CH Jotto 65, Xander Gold, as Bentley breaks it up. Oh, Ray Bentley gets picked up and thrown backwards by Rowland, but not before picking up the first down. And in true Bentley style, he acts like he didn't even feel it.
Boy, Cam, this is a battle we're going to have to watch tonight. These two titans going at each other here. I think Bentley just makes the wrong decision to go inside there, off the block, and just run smack dab into a wall.
Still first down for the Aztecs, who have now moved the ball into Chicago territory at the 42, 4:26 to go in the first quarter. Bentley has 16 yards on 3 carries, thanks to our live statistician Nathan Blake for keeping us updated all night long. K.O. Barrett picks up 9 on the out route to the outside.
Give a lot of credit to the big uglies up front, able to block that pass rush. As I mentioned before, no sacks were recorded by any of these star players here in that first game, and no sacks recorded against the quarterback, so they're not feeling as much pressure in their previous game that they need to feel here.
100 bits from Eddie Gage with in support of Steven here tonight as Bentley gets another first down to the 31-yard line, so the drive will continue. We're 7 minutes into the game. Neither team has punted or changed the possession. Just one change of possession so far.
Yeah, well, you know what it looks like, Cam? It looks like 2 playoff-ready teams. I mean, they have come in. They have been building their playbook throughout the season, and they've really polished them up for this, and we're seeing the best out of both of these squads.
Wilson going to throw on a 1st and 10 outside of Montague just in time, and Montague gets hit hard after a 9-yard pickup. Jesse Vick on the tackle, able to break through one, but Chicago means business, but can't get off the field.
Yeah, Cam, and look, these offenses are doing whatever they want to here early, and we've seen this time and time again. We've seen offenses have that early edge in the game, and then we start to see these defenses clamp down.
2nd and 1 of the 22, 3:08 to go in the first quarter. Aztecs trying to keep the drive alive. Handoff Bentley up the middle, got a first down. Hendershot chasing him from behind, but a 7-yard gain. Spurgeon with his first tackle of the night. Mexico City's in the red zone.
It's going to be a long day for Chicago's defenses. They're going to give Ray Bentley that much room between the tackles. And just look at the C that opens up in front of Bentley, granting him at least 6 yards untouched. It's going to be a long night. You keep letting the big fella rumble like that.
Mark Chisholm says, salute, Steven. Thank you for all your efforts during your time on the mic, big fella. With a 300 bits here, 100 bits from Dwayne Schindler as well. Hand off to Bentley. He gets rocked. That's Dylan Rowland again. I echo what you said earlier, Steven. Dylan Rowland versus Ray Bentley is the matchup to watch tonight.
Yeah, and he's headhunting. He is looking for number 28 and ready to put his helmet between the numbers. And thank you, all the guys, all the outpouring that I've gotten here. Thank you so much, and all the guys that have contacted personally. I really appreciate it. It's been my pleasure.
Wilson back to pass, 2nd down and 10. Pass is caught by Mike Daggs. First time tonight, the ATM. Picking up 11 yards to the 3. 1st and goal, Mexico City.
Yeah, outside of Bentley, I had circled Mike Daggs, the tight end, as someone that this Wildcats defense is going to have to watch. In their previous game, he had 8 receptions for 82 yards and a touchdown, really making an impact as a tight end in this league. Got to watch him.
1:42 to go in the first quarter. Split backs. Wilson dropping to pass. Matt Wilson all day dumps it off to that's Romero, I believe, on the check down. So check that. Andres Tovar on the check down. A 1-yard pickup, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, great job by Chicago's secondary, and the linebacker core really had everyone blanketed, and that was just a safety valve there for Wilson, and just a bit of a throwaway play, hoping that Tovar may be able to make a play, but just wasn't able to.
It's been 15 minutes. The quarter's almost over. 2nd and goal from the 2. Handoff, Bentley running right. He's not going to get there. Slammed down in the backfield by Jeremy Lane, the slot safety. I cannot say slot tonight. If I was pulling a Mike Daggs, I'd just call it an extra point. 3rd and goal from the 2.
It's almost as if the defense knew what play was coming, Cam. Overloaded the side where Bentley was supposed to run and just ran again into a wall that wasn't called Dillon this time.
3rd and goal at the 2. Bentley going to get another handoff. This time up the middle. Got a touchdown. And Mexico City responds as he scores right at the goal line, and we're tied at 6.
Cam, I love the tenacity. He failed once, you failed twice. You just keep giving it to Bentley because he's proved time and time again he can get the job done on 3rd down. They call his number once again, and he comes through.
And that was Roland on the tackle, but unfortunately got there just a split second too late, as Cole Varner will attempt the extra point to try to give the Aztecs the lead. These two played in one of the better games of the season earlier this year. Been excited for the matchup, or for the rematch, for a long time. That extra point is good for Varner, and that blocked extra point stands as the difference with 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. And we'll tease who gets on Blitz Live just a little bit more. We'll put up the playoff picture again. We want to focus. Go ahead, Stephen.
No, I was just going to echo what you were saying, in the sense that, man, there's so much movement that still needs to take place here. There's so many changes just based on the next 2 weeks of games, this week and next week's. This whole thing could look totally different by next week.
Carter takes a knee, so we'll bring it back up. 1st and 9th place, separated by 2 games right now. That's it. And then 13th and 5th place, separated by 2 games. So you've got a wide range of emotions there. Tulsa kept their season alive today. That was big for them right as time expired with that win over New Orleans. 1st and 10 at the 20. 38 seconds to go in the first. King dumps it off, and looking for running room. Jack Brown closes down on the receiver. That's J.C. Torres.
Well, you know what you want to see. Obviously, if you're Chicago, you want to continue to see consistency out of the offense. We know, as just the nature of this game, the defenses adapt, and they're going to start adapting to these offenses. It's almost as if who's going to adapt first.
2nd and 8, handoff to Willis. Willis breaks a tackle, gets a first down to the 31-yard line, and Stephen, there's so many storylines. Oh my gosh, it's the first. No, the first quarter's already over. Come on. We'll be back. Nathan Blake, Stephen Mullinex, Cameron Irvine here with you to start the second quarter. Willis takes a pass out of the backfield, but only picks up 1. That is Han Tayumi on the tackle, his first of the night.
Yeah, Cam, and we see Chicago put up a lot of these kind of fronts, and they're not alone. There's a lot of teams that like to put up fronts to make it look like kind of that they're going to run the ball, and they like to pass out of those, try to mess with the defense. Well, Mexico City's defense is just not built that way. They're not fooled like that.
King gonna throw again, all kinds of time. The pass is caught. It is shy of the sticks. J.C. Torres makes another catch in traffic. Stephen, E.T. King is now perfect, 9 for 9, and his receivers are making some incredible plays.
Right, Cam. I was going to say that exact thing. The only reason he is 9 for 9 because his receivers are making plays like that, jumping in front of a defender to snag the ball away.
3rd and 1. 10 minutes to go in the first half. King gonna throw. King gonna throw out to Willis. Got a block. And Willis gonna do the rest. Oh, Jared Willis all the way to the 43-yard line. A phenomenal play by the back.
Yeah, you got to like the hustle from the second-year running back, but he did everything to get right up to the line, and then the defense did themselves no favors by coming from behind him and pushing him over.
29 yards on 5 carries so far for Willis. 9:28 to go in the first half. Chicago trying to answer back. Looking for Willis on a screen, and there again was Mexico City ready for it. That was Nick Daggs playing in the slot, and Willis, that is catch number 4 actually, I beg your pardon, but for little to no gain.
Yeah, Chicago's trying to get Mexico City to go into some type of run defense and throw on that, but Mexico City just staying in the nickel the whole time. That's why that's not working.
2 in the backfield, 2nd and 9. King gonna throw again, out to Willis, this time on a check down, and Nick Daggs on the opposite side of the field makes the play, and we'll have our first 3rd and long of the evening.
And you know what? Chicago so far in this game, they have risen to the challenge of these 3rd downs, and it's been specifically because his receivers, E.T. King's receivers, have been making some spectacular plays, and here they're asking for someone to make another one to get this first down.
Tim Johnston with 2,500 bits for Steven.
Ooh.
Cam and Steven, great broadcast duo. Appreciate you, TJ. As King, deep ball down the middle on 3rd down and 10. Tipped up in the air and incomplete. Simons had a chance at it, but that is the first stop of the day as Jack Brown had gone deep in coverage.
Well, Jack Brown recently, included in the top 20 SFL players currently in the league. Well deserved. This guy here just tipped away a pass as an inside linebacker, so it gives you the kind of an idea of what kind of athlete he is.
Stephen, I was looking at the schedule for next season, just doing some light planning, and next season we're going to have obviously the get-together in Atlanta over the summer. That should be around week 3 or week 4 of the SFL season, but we'll also, I believe the week before that, Mr. Mullinex, the SFL will celebrate its 1,000th game.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you've been here for all 1,000 games, Cam, so I've been here just since season 6, and it seems like a lot to me. I can't imagine what it seems to you, but it seems to be that it's come so quickly.
Yeah, it really has, and I can't wait to see who ends up getting matched up in that very celebratory occasion. Ray Bentley picks up 1. There's a look at the updated numbers for the running backs.
Yeah, and out of those stats, it's got to be what Willis has been able to do here early and establishing himself as the better of the two, but it's still early, and Bentley does have a touchdown.
Wilson back to pass, steps up in the pocket, gets his legs taken out from under him. That's the first sack for either team, and that's Donnie Odom from the defensive tackle position.
Well, this Wildcat defense forced Matt Wilson to throw 3 interceptions in their previous game. So this is the kind of pressure Chicago's going to consistently need to put on the Hall of Famer in order to keep that home field advantage and winning streak going.
Chicago in the nickel, 3rd down and 13 at the 17 for Wilson and company. 7:15 to go in the first half. Wilson fires, caught by Daggs. He gets twisted around awkwardly and then stumbling over Daggs. The defender who made the play didn't get a chance, didn't catch a number, but Chicago holds him short of the first down.
Does a good job of doing so, Cam. Had 3 different defenders there to make sure Daggs wouldn't be able to cross the line, now giving their offense yet another chance to try to take the lead in this game.
So Chicago punts it away. Still have the Blitz Live schedule to announce tonight. Corey Carter, nice return up to the 43. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part and presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. By Extraordinary Everest, heartfelt messages on the most extraordinary place on earth. By Bit Central and Fuel, transforming SFL media in 2019. And by Harry's Razors, all you need for a close, comfortable shave. And for more on that transforming SFL media that you've been hearing about all season, you'll get your first look at some details of that in Jeff Malinishin's interview with me on Inside the Front Office, which should drop later this week on simulationfl.com as Willis picks up 2.
And King, still looking for deep opportunities there. Settles for the short out. Will gain 2 yards, make this a little bit more comfortable second down. But make no mistake about it. The Wildcats are looking down the field.
AJ today, Jackson in the chat. You don't in the chat. That's Mr. Varner. Dags 83, Crazy 8's 2000. As King flips it out to Willis yet again. That is Willis's 7th catch of the first half. It's now 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's been dictated by how this defense for Mexico City is laid out. They want to play pass coverage. That's what they want to play, and they've invested all of their stars and their contracts there at the linebacker in their secondary. So they want to stop the passes. They'll settle for the short runs and the short little screens and swings.
Yeah, you can't throw deep middle on these guys. Quick out route. That's caught. First down as J.C. Torres on the sideline doing well to keep the feet in.
Yeah, and they've got a really nice combo of receivers here in Carter and Simmons and Torres. Each one of them, I'll tell you, they have 38 receptions, and 36 receptions each.
Wow.
So that just tells you the distribution is not looking towards one main guy. They're spreading it out to the open man.
2 backs in the backfield, and Torres at the bottom of the screen. The handoff goes to Willis. I don't know how he found 5 yards in between all that mess, but Zamora makes the tackle to bring up 2nd and 5, and Drek 900 says 1,000 bits to Steven from your Lobo fam.
Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate all of you guys. You're making me blush here.
Nathan Blake giving us something that we didn't get a chance to mention in that very speedy first quarter. Mexico City, that 13-play drive, scored the touchdown. Long drives here to start for both teams as Willis again out of the backfield. That is not working. That's a loss of 1. And again, Han Tayumi and Nick Daggs all over it on this right side.
Well, Tayumi Cam has just been one of the best rookies here in the SFL. Went undrafted, if you can believe that. 6 interceptions, 10 pass defense, and a defensive touchdown. But there was in the backfield so quick, running back had nowhere to go.
King's now 16 of 17, but for just 83 yards. 3rd and 6, King in some trouble. Deep ball, one-on-one coverage, and it's intercepted. Intercepted the 18-yard line by Franagawa, the first turnover of the night.
And Cam, that's only Agawa's 2nd interception of the season, but it's a beauty. Runs the route better than the receiver does, and the only thing number 89 can do is bring him down for a tackle because he had the ball in midair before the receiver even turned his head.
Man, that's a tough one. I can't really put my finger on the throw there from King. I mean, obviously one-on-one jump ball. Didn't look like he underthrew it. Agawa just turning on the Jets late. 4:48 to go in the first half. 1st and 10 at the 18. Mexico City has it back. Up a .76. Wilson, deep drop back. Will fire it near side, and it's caught by Barrett in the smallest of windows as Blake Hamrick makes the tackle.
Cam, we got to talk about K.L. Barrett. Has emerged really, he's been a good receiver in this league. This is his 5th season for a long time, but this year, 96 receptions, 1,101 yards, and 7 touchdowns coming into this game. Really has established himself as one of the premier pass catchers in the league, and who better to have under center than Wilson?
Very underrated for sure, K.L. Barrett. 1st and 10 at the 30. Bentley going nowhere. That's no gain. And who are these 2 guys, Steven? What's going on here? SFL convention. There's a photo here everybody needs to pay attention to. I think it might be the next one here. Look at that. Look at that sheet. Look at that note sheet. That is unbelievable professionalism, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a great experience for sure.
2nd and 10 at the 30 for Matt Wilson. Wilson fires on a check down over to number 81, Jamie Hernandez, to pick up 6.
Cam, you mentioned those notes, and those things have evolved over the years, and I still use them for every single broadcast. They're so essential to what I do, but I put so much into doing it because I really do. I care about the owners and these teams and these players having a good time.
Handoff on a 3rd down and 4, and Bentley is not going to get there. Dylan Rowland literally forced Bentley's knees to the turf to hold him short of the 1st down.
Yeah, Cam, surely his upper body had that 1st down. I just don't know where the knee went down, and I think you're right. I think it just barely grazed the ground right there before the 1st down marker, and Mexico City's going to punt it.
The question will be for those traveling to Atlanta over the summer who gets to call games live, and we should have a wide variety of broadcasters available and in attendance, and that's going to be fun. We were showing, that was from the convention if you didn't know, but showing some clips, calling some games on stage. I've been talking to Marcus Dunhill a little bit, who's coming down from Wisconsin. I told him, I said, man, it's a dream scenario to call games in front of fans. Even the big commentators on the NFL don't get to do that.
Yeah, and not just fans, friends.
That's true. That's very true. E.T. King over the middle, wide open. What a throw to J.C. Torres as Chicago finally finds a gap in that secondary of Mexico City. The 4th catch already for Torres.
Cam, again, just great blocking here for E.T. King, because this play in that particular route takes a long time to develop to get your outside receiver to the inside middle deep. That takes a while, but E.T. King standing strong in the pocket, not phased by the pressure around him, delivers a perfect ball.
2:30 to go in the 1st half. We've been on the air about half an hour as King dumps it off again, complete, a 9-yard pickup. That is Simons inside. 18 of 20 is E.T. King in the 1st half.
They're playing this game at a lightning pace, Cam, and there's just not a lot of clock stoppage. So, they're being successful stringing plays together. A couple impressive drives here, and Chicago once again threatening to get into field goal range.
They faked me. They did not get another play off before the 2-minute warning. It is the Quip 2-minute warning. Visit quip.com for more information. You're watching the MeUndies You Vote Fan Night Game of the Week on Twitch. Second and 1 at the 45. Handoff Willis. First down.
Yeah, Willis almost makes a critical mistake there. Actually just had an opportunity to go right down the middle and get the 1st down. Opts to go to the left a little bit. I think he saw that there was too many defenders on that side, so he went ahead and ducked his head into the back of one of his own offensive linemen to go ahead and get the conversion.
Chicago's 3 of 5 on 3rd down conversions today. They have kept the game going. Willis 37 yards on 7 carries. Out of the gun now with 1:28 to go in the 1st half. And King fires again short as everybody backed off. Corey Carter makes the 7-yard play. Chicago not in much of a hurry.
Yeah, and I think that was the problem on the previous series when King threw the interception, trying to make something happen. And he's been making those throws throughout this game. It's just that his receivers have really been bailing him out. And here he just takes the simple check down, gets the 7 yards.
Willis, nice cut to the left, gets a 1st down, 8-yard gain. Now Chicago going hurry.
Not in a hurry to use those timeouts, apparently.
All 3 left, 7-6 here in the 1st half. They're going to run it again to Willis, and Willis only got 2. I would have used one there, Steven. They're in some trouble here.
Yeah, but it also keeps the defense on their toes.
It does. 2nd and 8 of the 27. Willis one more time. Willis gets wrestled down by a couple of Aztecs. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3, and Chicago burns its first time out. After all these years, all these games, Steven, you would think that these teams in no huddle would have a pass play. We see it all the time.
Well, sometimes you fall in love with the play. I know I certainly do as a coach, and you just, there's nothing around that in that same formation that you love as much.
36 seconds to go in the 1st half. 7-6 Mexico City, but Chicago's back on the move again. King to pass out of the empty, going deep to the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago! It's Simons, and Simons says 6 points.
And Cam, that's going to be Simons' 8th touchdown on the season, and here it's just the nice post route actually just outruns Zamora. Again, I personally praised Zamora's defensive ability, but certainly gets burned there.
32 seconds to go in the first half, and Chicago has a chance to go up 6 if they don't get their extra point blocked again, like they did the first time if you're just joining us late. Not a couple of field goals early, but a touchdown and a blocked extra point for these Wildcats. Another bad snap. That one nearly blocked, but the extra point is good, and Chicago makes it a 13-7 ball game. Quip Design delivers simple ways to keep your mouth healthy with time vibrations. Brush head refills for $5, refilled every 3 months. Covered for life with free shipping for life. Use the link posted in the chat, and your purchase will help support the SFL through our partnership. Quip, a more wholesome clean, and there's no better time than right now to purchase some SFL sponsored products. It helps support the broadcast team, and we're going to be looking for a new number 2 with me in the booth here soon and throughout the playoffs. I'm sure old Damon Simeon, my former partner, will be getting a phone call, and we'll see what we can do on the championship game night.
Yeah, you've got plenty. Trust me, you've got plenty of talent to choose from. It's one of the reasons I feel so comfortable in leaving you now. You know, we talked about this decision. We talked about this weeks and weeks ago, and we've been planning this, and there are plenty of talented guys out there ready to step up. I just know.
27 seconds left in the first half. Bentley going to get a carry. I think Mexico City just may be content here. They don't want to be too aggressive. Haven't played a terrible first half, but Chicago definitely has held their own. Trap play to Bentley, and we'll run this down, just trying to get in the Hail Mary range.
Yeah, you're right, Cam. And but you know what? It only takes one explosive run to change this game.
And that's one thing we just have not seen out of this Mexico City offense this season. Bentley has been certainly efficient, 12 carries, 37 yards so far, but we have missed that explosivity out of Ray Bentley over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they really haven't needed it. You know, they're already in the postseason. They're 7-4. This is a team that had 2 back-to-back blowouts, 45-0 and 44-0. So they are certainly capable of putting up big points, but they haven't needed to. But they still win, Ken. That's the thing.
And off again to Bentley on the final play. They won't even get a chance to run a Hail Mary, and that is the end of the first half of work for both of these teams. And what a first half it was. 13-7 Chicago leads in a battle between the current number 7 and number 8 seeds of the SFL playoffs. 2K Sports Halftime Report, first half stats and analysis coming right now. There's a look at the numbers. Possession pretty even, but I think the most important stat of this half was number of drives, each team with just 4.
Yeah, Cam, and this is really dangerous, I believe, for Mexico City. You know, coming into this game, they have lost their last 3 out of 4 games. Really need to try and post a win here to have some positive momentum going into the playoffs. And Chicago's hungry. And, you know, they're still trying to get in, and they're doing everything they can to do so. And E.T. King is taking some chances in this game. And for the most part, they've worked out. He does have that interception to Ogawa, but didn't really hurt this team as far as the scoreboard is concerned. So for me, the onus now really falls on Mexico. They needed to come in, create some more turnovers like the one you're seeing on their screen, and try to limit some of the effectiveness that Willis, the running back for Chicago, has had. And in turn, we want to see more offensive firepower out of this Aztecs offense.
Sense of urgency for both of these teams, in particular Chicago. If Chicago wins, they clinch a playoff spot. We know that. But if they lose, there's still a possibility that this team may not even make the playoffs. They have Tallahassee next week, and that's obviously no easy opponent. Chicago definitely has historically had some troubles with the Pride. That overtime game where they missed the chip shot field goal in particular always is kind of a reminder for me about what that series means to Chicago and Tallahassee. As we're ready to go in the second half. Nathan Blake, Stephen Millenex, Cameron Irvine with you from the 9-yard line. This is Dags on the return, and Dags will only manage to get up to the 27.
Well, speaking of a Dags, let's talk a little bit about Mike Dags, a tight end. Haven't seen as much of him as I'd probably like to, and as much as Aztecs would. nearly has 1,000 receiving yards this season, has 9 touchdowns coming into this game, 53 receptions. Been a bit blanketed here in this game, and I'd like to see them use him a little bit more along with Barrett and Montague.
1st and 10 to the 27. Wilson will start the half out of the gun. He'll fire a slant over the middle. Pass is complete to Barrett. That's Barrett's 3rd catch of the night. Daggs, Montague, Barrett, all with 2 receptions in that first half.
And, you know, these are the kind of plays that Matt Money Wilson has made his entire career. Just the easy pass down the middle of the field, almost in just a straight line towards the goal line, Cam. And Barrett attacking on that slant. No defender in the area. Easy pitch and catch.
A.J. Barnes on the tackle. Another 100 bits for a great second half coming for Steven and I. 13-7, Chicago leading Mexico, as the Aztecs will flip it out to Bentley. That's his first catch, and Bentley wrestled down. Boy, even when Dylan Rowland is not their first, he sure is their second. Pickup of 4.
Yeah, his presence is felt regardless, Cam. It just hits like a Mack truck, and you just see there are certain players, Cam, when you see them on the field, the way that they hit others, the way others bounce off them, you just know there's something different about that guy.
No, he did not miss the blitz schedule, Denver 9. He's been a very fast first half. We just haven't had a ton of opportunities. Deep shot. It's tipped up in the air. Intercepted. That's Dylan Rowland. Rowland with a pick to the 42-yard line. And how often do you see that?
Not often. I think the most interceptions by a linebacker so far this season is 2. Those guys normally have stone hands, but here, just Rowland benefiting from the nice tip there by Hamrack. That tips it back to his teammate, but give a lot of credit to cornerback Blake Hamrack. Was in step for step with Barrett, ran the route right beside him, giving Matt Wilson, no window to throw to.
Oh, man, so Dylan Rowland gets the pick. He's been all over the place tonight. 9:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers on the right side. Hand off to Willis, and Willis will pick up 5. For Dylan Rowland, that is the 2nd interception of his 6-season career in the SFL. The first was all the way back in winter 2017. That's 2 years ago when he was in his 2nd season with the Tallahassee Pride. And by the way, with the tackles that Rowland has tonight, he has more tackles this season than in any other season of his career. 2nd and 5 as Willis will run out of room, a 1-yard loss.
And to just add that to what's happening with Dylan and how well he's playing, Dylan Rowland's playing this season, he's still got another game to go, so he's going to build onto that tackle total. But, yeah, for some of those linebackers, Cam, you just got to make that interception real easy. And Blake Hamrack, like a volleyball player, just kind of lofted it over to Dylan Rowland and able to pick that one off.
3rd down and 6 at the 47. 9:06 to go, 3rd quarter. Back to pass, E.T. King. King will fire a deep shot down the field. This one is caught by Varner. Past the 20-15 down to the 13-yard line. I believe that was a one-on-one jump ball with Fran Agawa, and this time Varner wins the battle.
Yeah, they call it getting mossed, Cam, and that's exactly what tight end Shan Varner did here to the defensive back, number 44, Daggs, up in the air. To try and grab that. Well, Varner's so big, he didn't really have to jump that far to snatch it in front of him. And we're seeing both of these quarterbacks now taking some chances in their throws. E.T. King been doing this kind of gambling all night.
So Varner's best game of the season here is Willis going to get a block. That's the Everscroll block of the game. Sprung a 7-yard run inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Alfonso Freeney, the fullback, 6 foot, 242 pounds. You think he stays in line through the drive-thru at McDonald's once or twice a night? This guy's a big fella, able to get that big frame in there for the block, and as you said, sprung him for a 7-yard gain.
2nd and 3 at the 6. 8:08 to go in the 3rd quarter. Chicago trying to take a 2-possession lead here at home. Back to pass out to Willis. That's in trouble. Nick Daggs makes another great play. And actually, Willis does a tremendous job. He dropped the pass probably on purpose there.
Yeah, if Nick Daggs was just a millisecond quicker, he might have been in there for a possible interception. That's how far he was into the backfield before that pass landed in the running back's hands.
Alien Nation 77, Optimus Klein Eric JDWA in the chat. Crash Combs in the chat. Blackstar 1014 there as well. Jared Willis takes the handoff. They will not get the first down. Chicago was 4 of 7 on third down before that attempt, and Willis falls 1 yard short. Mexico City gets a stop inside the 5.
Yeah, that's Daniel Garcia, the outside linebacker. What a great stop right there to stop Willis, who's been running really well. Let's see if they go for it, Cam. I probably wouldn't.
Man, that would be an incredibly ballsy decision by Chicago at this point. Oh, Mexico City jumped off sides. MeUndies laundry on the field, and Chicago's drive will continue. Oh, what a mistake.
Yeah, huge, because he wouldn't have got it, Cam. They stopped him if they had even gone for it. Obviously, the penalty precluded them to go ahead and try and see if they can get in the end zone, but they'll take advantage with this first down.
That's on Lopez, and Chicago will end up with a 1st and goal, and just a terrible mistake by Mexico City. This is a very disciplined team. You hardly ever see that. 7:12 to go in the third. Chicago up 6 now with a fresh set of downs. Mexico City going to have to come up with a goal line stand. Willis going to take a handoff, running left, and Willis is into the end zone for a touchdown, Chicago.
Wow, Cam, I thought that Jeffrey Daggs had him there at the line, but Willis able to just nudge the tip of that nose across the goal line for the score, and that bodes well here for Chicago. Not only gives them a much bigger lead, Cam, but I like that they've done the way that they've done so, especially how Willis has been running between the tackles.
That was a terrible angle. Couldn't really see whether or not the ball was across the pylon. That's the second time that Mexico City, right at a line to gain, has been a possibly questionable call, and neither time Ramos Lynn has chose to challenge, and Chicago takes a 13-point lead, 20-7 with 7:04 to go in the third quarter.
Well, Cam, make no mistake, that touchdown, whether that was actually in or not, they called it good. That was all caused because of that previous penalty. That offsides negated what would have likely been a field goal attempt instead of them going in for 6 and hitting the extra point.
Everscroll by Movement blocks blue light to protect your eyes from digital screens. Don't hurt your eyes by checking out SFL action. Protect them and see every moment by using the promo code SimulationFL at purchase from Movement.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL through our partnership, Movement Premium Watches, Sunglasses, and Accessories. So now the Aztecs down a couple of scores. They need an answer.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be looking to this really talented wide receiver core and this tight end. I think they're the keys to getting them back involved in this game. So, Matt Wilson, do your thing, baby.
7 minutes to go in the third. Wilson flips it outside to Barrett. He's got a first down, a pickup of 11 yards. Before this game gets too serious in the fourth quarter, would love to know what everyone's favorite Stephen Mullinex call has ever been. My favorite is the B.J. Armstrong pick 6 on the front page when San Antonio upset Alaska. I hear it all the time, listening to you in the background. Just so awesome. And then the call right after the play was tremendous. What's your favorite? Let us know in the chat as Wilson's pass caught by Barrett for a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, Cam, I honestly don't even remember that. But I do remember the interception, but not my reaction. You know, I think the thing that comes across, and I would say to anybody who takes this chair after me, you know, just be passionate about it. Just love it, and that'll come across. And I think the people that are watching, really the friends and family that are watching here, they feel that passion from us, and that's what makes it really exciting.
Bentley only picks up 1. That's Clint Hendershot this time getting involved. Look at Mike Daggs having some words and some finger pointing, maybe even some eye poking out there with a Chicago defender.
Well, I'm all for it, except for the eye poking part. I'm all for the rest of it, Cam. We've seen some eye poking stuff here in this league, and it is not going well. But how about some fire? Yeah, let's get some fire in these Aztecs. Let's see if they can put some points on the board here.
Third down and 3, 5:40 to go in the third. Wilson going to throw, trying to keep the drive alive. Matt Wilson with some pressure. Wilson fires down the field, caught. First down to the Chicago 35, and that is the first catch for David Jr. at tight end. Boy, Wilson spreading it around.
Yeah, and Wilson under pressure actually had his own offensive lineman right in his face. I thought could have affected the throw. Didn't. Just look at that perfect spiral. What a great replay by the guys in the truck down there. But going to a receiver that he doesn't normally go to there, number 82, I mean, just everything you expect from a veteran like Wilson for him to stand in that pocket and deliver the crisp ball despite having his offensive lineman in his grill.
5:13 to go in the third. Another third down conversion for Mexico City. They're 2 of 7. They had struggled previously. That's a 1-yard pickup, and it was a great job by the guys in the truck, but they gave me a double angle. And if anybody knows the production of the SFL, well, obviously it's all live, and those double camera angles kill me almost every time.
Well, I'll tell you who killed who in the last one. Bentley was killed by Maurice Spurgeon and Roland, as they really, there was a hole there, and then all of a sudden 21 and 40 came in to really seal it up in no time.
And off to Bentley, and Bentley picks up 8, so another third down and 1 coming. That's one of the longest runs of the night for Bentley. His longest is 10. And
we're seeing a lot of these drives, Cam, that are just seeping the clock.
It's crazy.
A 13-point lead, normally that wouldn't be insurmountable, but the way that these drives are going, I almost think Mexico has to score here to stay in this game.
We're already down to 4:13 to go in the third. Wilson going to throw again, this time outside, caught by Montague, gets into the red zone down to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's just a great play call right there. The short out to the reliable Montague, and Wilson with the perfect accuracy despite there being a defender right there. The timing is just perfect to get that first down.
Roger Rabbit 433 in the chat with some fire emojis. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. It's not a name we often see in the chat room, but we love it as that block, tremendous on Hendershot, picks up 6. Mexico City just milking that clock down to the 12.
Yeah, it may be part of their master plan, right? Go ahead and just eke out the lead, and then they've already run the clock so much the game's over. But this is just what they've just been doing, relying really heavily on Ray Bentley and not asking Matt Wilson to get, a huge bomb or a huge gain. Going more conservative here.
And off to Bentley near a first down, but it's going to be another third down. Dylan Rowland already with 10 solo tackles, and I have to mention this, TMG82 saying, I loved it when Steven tried to reclaim his role as the one giving the dad jokes during the preseason game this season, #Bumble. I totally forgot about the Bumble game.
I do remember. There's so many great memories. There's so many inside jokes that we can play, guys, because we've had such a great time together. Boy, it's fun to reminisce.
Wilson intercepted in the back of the end zone by Maurice Spurgeon, and now Mexico City really in trouble with 2:42 to go in the third.
Well, the second time I've called Spurgeon's name, but I should have talked about him more. He had 2 interceptions the last time these two teams played. He only had 3 interceptions coming on the season coming into this game, so Spurgeon just has Wilson's number for some reason, gets another one there, and that one, boy, that was a killer in the end zone.
Easy Temple with 500 bits, #make an impact. The retired defensive lineman still holds the record for most sacks in the game. Speaking of sacks, that's an 8-yard loss for E.T. King, as getting in there is Dorian Lopez, who jumped offside on the previous possession.
Yeah, and it's good to see these defenses now starting to have that effect on these quarterbacks. Especially the way that E.T. King's been throwing tonight. You're trying as a defense to get him out of rhythm. Taking those hits will help that.
Loss of 8, King in the backfield, 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Dime look for Mexico City as King will drop back, fire down the middle. That is a wobbler, and it's intercepted. Tipped up in the air, still on his feet. That's Tayumi to the 12, and Mexico City right back where they started, or right back where they finished, I should say.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, this Aztec offense is going to owe this defense a dinner, big steak dinner, for getting them that ball back. Making a turnover in the end zone could have lost them this game, but the Aztec defense comes up big, gets the tip, the interception, and now puts them in the red zone at the Chicago 12-yard line.
That was a terrible ball from King. I mean, he just floated that one up there. It looked like a hot air balloon, took it up and carried it right over to Tayumi. 1st and 10 at the 12, 2:03 to go in the third. Wilson going to try again in the end zone. Almost picked again. and it may have been deflected by Hendershot, but still, I believe Mike Daggs, the intended receiver, had a chance at it.
I think Wilson just eyeballing Mike Daggs the entire time, never takes his eyes off him, going to go to him no matter what. But the matter what was two defenders in between Daggs and the ball. As you mentioned, just a poor throw there. Probably should have looked off to go somewhere else or thrown it away.
And right in between Hendershot's hands, and then it went under A.J. Barnes, and Daggs still had an opportunity at it late. That would have been sensational. So 2nd down and 10, Wilson with 3 incomplete passes, 2 of them coming here inside this 20-yard line. Matt to throw into the end zone, open touchdown, Richard Montague. And if you don't succeed, try again. It's a 7-point game.
Well, Cam, on that play, Mexico City sent 2 tight ends on the right side of their line, and they just did a curl route. That drew the secondary down towards them to cover them, leaving the area behind those tight ends wide open. And there we saw the post route run to perfection right to the middle of the end zone where Wilson targeted the last 3 times, actually got it in there this time.
Well said, Stephen. The Aztecs down 7, about to be down 6. They are making their move as that extra point is good. And for the first time, we can show you next week's Blitz Live schedule. It looks like this. 6 games on the docket: Chicago, Tallahassee, London, New Orleans, Sioux Falls, Indianapolis, Tulsa, Las Vegas, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Denver, Vancouver. There will be more breakdowns of the schedule in the coming days. Obviously, we don't have the exact kickoff times just yet. Alaska and Baltimore will play either Saturday or Monday, depending upon if they have an opportunity to fall into the wild card conversation. If they do not, they will play on Monday, with the only game not relevant to the playoffs, St. Louis and Carolina, or check that, St. Louis and Atlanta. If they do possibly fall into the wild card mix, those games will take place on Saturday on YouTube. So it's a programming note, but that is your Blitz Live broadcast coming up next week as Willis gets a first down to the 28.
Yeah, and I've been so impressed by what we've seen from Jared Willis again between the tackles, able to get a first down here just through running behind these really great blocks. And Cam, it's something that he struggled to do in their previous game, averaging just 2.8 yards per carry. And here, this looks like the workhorse that could be the guy that they ride all the way to victory here in this game.
1:23 to go. Handoff, in trouble. Willis, I don't know how he got out of that. Tremendous block up front. This offensive line's really been the difference. 6-yard gain.
Yeah, and let's not forget who they're running right towards. They're running right towards Jack Brown.
It's been quiet.
Arguably the best defensive player in the SFL as far as the linebackers concerned for sure. And they're just taking it right to him.
Unofficially, just 2 solo tackles for Brown, as Willis on the outside will again find no room. That's now 10 catches for 14 yards, and Mexico City has read that like a book.
Yeah, clearly some great scouting going on by this defense, knowing they like to swing. I mean, you could tell that just by looking at his stat line that they like to throw it to him on those swing passes and outlets. So certainly Mexico City's defense prepared for that. Not so much prepared for what the running backs doing between the tackles, though.
Another 3rd down coming up, 4 for 8 so far tonight. This is the 47th play of the night for Chicago's offense. And on 3rd down and 4, they're going to throw. King, the pass. King, short of the sticks. The fullback won't get there. The Aztecs get a touchdown. They get a stop. And the catch from Alfonso Freeney gets the Chicago offense off the field.
Yeah, I was almost afraid that the Wildcats were going to run in that situation and try to get Willis to get those 4 yards, but they throw the ball, but they throw it in front of the sticks, and they throw it to a non-contracted fullback that you're asking now to break a tackle in order to make a first down. Just probably wasn't the guy that King wanted to go to but was forced to.
Final play of the quarter, this punt going to Jeffrey Daggs from the 29. They'll get a few, and that'll end the 3rd quarter. Steven, if I had a big media team I would have gotten all the times you said, oh, they threw it short of the sticks your entire SFL broadcast career. But we don't have time for that. We don't even have time for 3 quarters, barely.
Nope.
Start of the 4th, Chicago leads 20-14. You're watching the MeUndies U-Boat Fan Night Game of the Week on Twitch. Alongside Nathan Blake on stats, Stephen Mullinex, I am Cameron Irvine in the final Fan Night Game of the Week of the season. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. The 4s are going up in the chat, and Wilson sits in the pocket. Oh, man, nearly picked for a score from Maurice Spurgeon that he may regret if Mexico City ends up winning this game.
Mama, there goes that man again, Maurice Spurgeon. We've called his name earlier tonight. Reception in the end zone. Had 2 picks the last time these 2 teams played. Probably should have had his 4th right there and a pick 6.
I love the Greg Corky shout out there with Mama There Goes That Man. Another, my first ever broadcast partner who we hope is doing well. Haven't heard from Greg in quite some time. Wanted to start a new business, spend some more time with the family, and hope all is well with old Corky.
Yeah, Greg was one of my favorites, and I still hold out hope that he'll come back and do a commentary game with you maybe once or twice. And that's one of the reasons why I'm leaving the door open. You know, I want to come back. I want to do some special games with you. So our relationship as far as this is not over.
Right. Everything else, it's definitely over. Matt Wilson, loss of 4 as Chicago gets the sack. I'm sitting here going, what?
Don't air our dirty laundry in front of all these people, Cam. We know our relationship as friends ended months ago. I told you can never continue. You got to stop calling me. As that sack on Wilson there, Chicago continues to put pressure and causes that 4th down, Cam. That was huge. And again, now, you know, that stop is negated that this defense was able to put up.
Eddie Gage, 200 bits. Look at Corey Carter's got some room on the outside. Breaks a tackle. Carter past midfield. Did you see the burst, Stephen Mullinex, all the way to the Mexico City 42-yard line?
Yeah, Cam, look, big players come up at big times and big games, and Corey Carter, realizing the situation that they're in, only up 6, knows they need to put some points on the board here in the 4th quarter, and the little man shakes off the big special teamer to get into midfield, which is going to set up his offense really nicely.
That was Elias Avendano, and I don't even care if I'm saying his name correctly because he just got embarrassed by Corey Carter there. 1st and 10 at the 42 for Chicago. Up 6, trying to preserve this victory, clinch a playoff spot. They would be the 8th team to do so. As King fires outside and in trouble as a really smart play there by Fran Agawa, who was trying to bat that ball to a teammate out of position.
Well, Cam, we cannot be surprised by anything that E.T. King does from here on out. This guy's a gambler. He's going to go for it. He's got that kind of mentality. He's not going to play it safe. He's going to believe in his receivers to come down with the ball regardless of the situation.
9:45 left, 4th quarter. King out of the gun on 2nd down. King, another tremendous pocket, but has to check it down to Willis. Boy, the coverage. I don't think there's a better team. That's why it was so surprising. The very rare times that Mexico City got exploited deep this season. It doesn't happen often. This secondary, quite possibly the best in the league.
Yeah, and they've got 2 free safeties, and Nick Daggs and Jeffrey Daggs, who are among the best free safeties in the league, and they're on the same team, Cam. One has 97 tackles coming in this game, one has 93. Gives you an idea of the tackling machines they are.
3rd down and 9. Chicago 4 of 9 on 3rd downs. King takes a high snap deep down the field and is caught by Torres inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Another jump ball won by Chicago.
Cam, no fear. E.T. King has absolutely no fear. Look, this ball is actually placed in the location where Torres has to go up and get it out in front of the defender because he slips a little bit on the route. And so E.T. King threw that ball on a timing route to get him right in that certain spot, and Torres had to struggle to get it, but has the athleticism to do so.
1st and goal at the 8. 8:45 to go in the 4th. That pass out to Willis, and Willis not going much anywhere. I have to get this out. This is Mike Dagg's favorite Stephen Mullenek's memory. Season 10, final game of the preseason, St. Louis at London. Only my second broadcast ever, was nervous, still unsure of what I was doing. Stephen was on my game on color, showed me how you can have fun with broadcasting and put on an entertaining show for everyone while calling a good, detailed game. It gave me the confidence I needed to keep going and bring me to where I am now. Thank you, Stephen.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
Second and goal at the 7. Willis, another, oh man, tattooed at the 9-yard line. Somebody pick up his head and put it in a barrel. Loss of 2.
Cam, it's just Chicago is just set in throwing this swing pass, and it has not been working all night. At some point, you got to just rip that play out of the playbook and go with something else.
Third and goal at the 9. It's been the only thing crippling this offense tonight. King in trouble, and King is going to be sacked way back at the 18-yard line. Sacked by Zeta, and Mexico City's got 3 on the night.
Cam, we always talk about momentum, and I think, that failed swing pass led to this sack. It just gives the defense more confidence and more momentum and allows them to make plays like this on a critical 4th down, forcing a field goal attempt.
So this is going to be a 35-yarder. It will make it a 2-score game, but certainly Mexico City living with some momentum here as the kicker, Jesus Garcia, from 35 to give him a 2-score lead, will put it through. And Chicago gets just a little bit of breathing room. And, Stephen, we haven't even talked about the father-son relationship. There's been so many good storylines here tonight. On the field tonight, Shan Varner, of course, the tight end and owner, head coach of Chicago. And then you've got Cole Varner, the son of Shan, the kicker of Mexico City, who has not gotten to attempt a field goal tonight, but did beat his dad in the Season 9 championship game rematch back in Season 10 on a game-winning field goal. And obviously those two go way back.
Yeah, if I had a son, which I might, and I just don't know about it, but if I did and my son beat me in that kind of game, I might disown him, honestly.
Steven says he doesn't matter in the chat room.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I have some news for you, Steven. Actually, I am your son.
I thought your mother looked familiar. I've got some stories for you, buddy.
7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Oh, man, that's not right. Wilson
I know.
Steps up in the pocket. Wobbly passes, tipped up in the air and intercepted. That almost could have ended the game there. Hamrick on coverage. That pocket broke down quickly.
Yeah, nearly intercepted. And we're seeing now both of these defensive lines start to have an impact on this game, pressuring the quarterback, sacking the quarterback, putting them in bad position to make bad throws. Nearly came away with that one, but we're seeing now, after kind of an offensive explosion there at the beginning of this game, these defenses have really taken control.
Second down at the 30 for Wilson. He's now 15 of 20, but a lot of incompletions coming here in the second half. Wilson, wobbly pass, but a wide open receiver. How did Montague get so wide open? He's got 64 yards on 5 grabs.
Well, if you listen to the previous game here in the SFL, you heard Matt Wilson talking about ducks, and he delivers a duck right here. Quack, quack, but it's to the right man at the right time in the right location as Montague gets wide open in midfield to catch that post route.
Why is it always 2 quacks out of you? It's never 3.
It's
never 1.
You started it. You started the quack, quack a long time ago during a Dallas, one of the Dallas games, and I've just picked it up ever since.
I didn't know that. Hand off to Bentley. Bentley around the right side will pick up 5, but not a lot of time to waste here for the Aztecs. As you pointed out earlier, Stephen, not a lot of drives in this game. Chicago has had 8 of them, and this is the 9th for Mexico City.
Yeah, but these defenses have been locking down and creating some 4th down, so now we're starting to see the ball shift from both sides. But surely, as you start to look at the clock and the scoreboard, you got to think that Mexico City needs a score here.
6 minutes to go in the 4th, 23-14. Chicago up 9, trying to clinch a playoff spot. Wilson's pass is caught by Daggs. First down to the 25. And we haven't even talked about yet, Stephen, all the teams who are probably cheering for one team or the other tonight. There's some teams, London, Las Vegas, Tulsa, Queen City all sitting at 5-6, 6-5 that would love to see Mexico City wrap this up tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be an uphill battle here in Chicago to do so. And look, Chicago has just as much incentive to get this done. They don't want to have their playoff hopes going into next week when they've got to travel to Tallahassee.
1st and 10 at the 25. Wilson under the gun. This is the final regular season game for the Aztecs. That pass is caught by Barrett down to the 4. Aztecs have a bye next week, so they have plenty of urgency as well. Wilson's up to 205.
And Wilson's just been on lock here on this series, identifying his receivers early, finding them deep down the field. Some of these throws, Cam, any other SFL quarterback you'd be, why are you making that throw in that kind of coverage? Here with Wilson, just has the touch and the confidence to get those completions, getting his team back into this game.
6 for Barrett, 5 for Montague, 3 for Daggs. 1st and goal at the 4, under 5 to go. 23-14. Wilson gonna pass. Wilson out route, caught, touchdown Montague. That's his 2nd of the night. It's 23-20.
Well, it gets no easier than that, Cam. When you see that kind of coverage, you know, the cornerbacks playing so far off and backing up into the zone, it just really all you have to do as a quarterback is look to Montague, and those two guys have been playing together for so long. They're just on the same page, and that little short out is all he needed for the touchdown.
And that's huge, Stephen, because as we know, inside 5 minutes, you're looking at an onside kick. If you're down by more than a field goal, they don't have to settle for the field goal. They end up getting the touchdown. That keeps this game kind of going longer in the tooth. And the Aztecs have a 2-point deficit instead of a 6-point deficit or even a 9 with a turnover, and that is keeping things close.
The fans, when they pick these games for us, Cam, they never get it wrong. They always give us a good one.
Even though sometimes we get some terrible ones, we always tell you never got it wrong. Everybody needs to feel good. Everybody needs to feel good every now and again. As Cole Varner kicks it away. As you were saying that, I'm thinking, well, I remember a couple of weeks ago. Carter on the return hits it up to the 20-yard line. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by Matt Doyle Designs, official design partner of the SFL. By MediaTek Institute, visit mediatek.edu for diploma programs. Turn your passion into your profession. And by MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women. 4:48 to play. Chicago up by 2. What a ball game as the Wildcats are trying to clinch. Mexico City trying to close out their regular season with a win. Hand off to Willis, and Willis wrestled down by Tayumi and Daggs on a combo tackle. Actually, Nick Daggs may have gotten shaken off by Garcia. 4-yard gain.
Well, if I'm Chicago, that's the number I'm calling, number 24. It's not only been running really well, averaging over 5 yards a carry in this game, but he's going to help that clock and salt away that clock on Mexico City. I still call his number here, try to make it a shorter 3rd down attempt.
Both of these teams have exactly 23 first downs. 2nd and 6 at the 25. Hand off to Willis, and Willis not going anywhere. He could not find a running lane. It'll bring up the 12th 3rd down conversion of the night for Chicago. This one the biggest of the night.
And here's the thing, Cam. We haven't known E.T. King in this game to be a conservative quarterback. At times, he will look for the easy pass, but a lot of the times he's willing to take the risk to go downfield. I don't know if he does it in this situation, though.
3rd and 5. 3:45 to go in the 4th. What's King going to do? He's certainly hard counting here. He's going to run it to Willis. And Willis, oh, did he get it? Yes, he did. Got the first down to the 31-yard line. That may be worth a challenge.
Well, certainly worth a gutsy call award, Cam, to run it on 3rd and 5. You're only up 2. You're on your side of the field. If you don't get it, have to punt it to Mexico City. They just scored, and there's your challenge.
Wow, there's your Harry's close shave, close call challenge. Ramos Lynn holding on to that flag quite a bit tonight, but ends up pulling it out here. This means everything, as we're going to get a look at it. Where's the ball in relation to the line? This second view should give us a better look. I think it's over right there, isn't it? Oh, that's close.
It's the angle. The camera angle is behind the. It's not all right on the line, Cam. It was like just behind the first down marker, so hard to tell.
The call goes in favor of the Aztecs. They win the challenge, and Chicago will have to punt the football.
Yeah, I know that you want to. There's a thought maybe we could just go ahead and sneak this one across the line, but I don't think you can risk Cam not getting it over, and then they're already in field goal range here at the Chicago 30.
Boy, oh boy, that is a huge stop for the Aztec defense. I don't necessarily disagree with the call. It was very close, and I think there was enough there. He needed the actual, just ahead of the 30.5-yard line, as a really nice open field tackle is made there by Jeremy Lane. From shave sets to handles, Harry's provides quality craftsmanship. Made in Germany, we make Harry's products from the finest materials and ingredients to ensure they perform as well as they possibly can. Use the coupon code SimulationFL at purchase from Harrys.com. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL, Harry's official razor of the SFL. First down and 10 at the 36-yard line with 3:14 to play. The first play of the drive is a handoff to Bentley to pick up 3.
And Cam, there's no pressure here on Mexico City. They've been in this situation plenty of times. They've already got a championship. They have that kind of pedigree. You've got a Hall of Famer under center for you. I mean, everything just points to continuing to play a more conservative style here just to get you into field goal range.
Montague and Barrett have some cushion, about 8 yards on the outside. Wilson changing the plays. 19 of 24, going to throw for the 25th time tonight. It's a route to Montague. He stepped out of bounds, but not before he got the first down. That's another close call to move the chains.
That's a wily veteran move there. Been in the league for 5 seasons. Look at how he turns the corner right there. So many times SFL receivers will let their momentum take them out of bounds, but just turning that corner ever slightly was able to get that first down.
2:16 to go. With 2 interceptions or 2:40 to go rather, 216 yards for Wilson. First and 10 of the 46. That's an offside by Chicago. Second MeUndies laundry on the field, and that will give Mexico City 5 more yards for Varner to potentially kick the game winner against his Pops again.
And negating a great defensive stop that they were going to have there on first down.
Neutral zone infraction, number 71.
So that'll move the ball 5 yards up the field. Aztecs accept the offsides. MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/SimulationFL for 15% off your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping and return, signature soft and stretchy MeUndies. First and 5 at the 49. 2:37 left. Nickel look. Dylan Rowland's been quiet here in the fourth quarter. Ball just past midfield. Handoff Bentley running left. Ray Bentley cuts it back inside. Hendershot and Spurgeon combine on the stop. 2nd and 1. That clock keeps ticking. And now the onus is on Chicago. Mexico City does not want to give this ball back.
Yeah, they want to run the clock. And let's remind people at home that Mexico City has Cole Varner as their kicker, a contracted kicker that's gone a perfect 23 of 23 on field goals this season.
And is close to the all-time record for field goals made in the SFL, I do believe. Bentley gets it up to the Chicago 40-yard line, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Oh, man, still outside Varner's range, but Mexico City knocking on the door, down 2. Can it be any better here on Twitch? This is for a ton of marbles. If Mexico City can't get the win, they'll probably end up settling down in a wild card spot. If they do, anything's open for them. Chicago trying to clinch a playoff spot and avoid being in some trouble next week on Blitz Live, as Bentley will get no gain. Excellent stop by Dylan Rowland on the outside.
And Cam, a little bit puzzled here that Chicago's not using their timeouts. I can serve some of this clock because they're right on the edge of Varner range. You got to think if you can get inside the 35, it gives that kicker a chance.
1:36 and counting. This is Wilson. Fires. That's caught in Varner range. Down to the 32. It's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Cam, unfortunately for Mexico City, he goes out of bounds, stops the clock, but the damage so far is done. Now they just can't take a sack here, or Bentley can't lose yards here on this 3rd and 2. I would expect him to go Bentley down the middle or to the outside to try and get this first down, and they go ahead and try to win this game.
If Chicago doesn't get a stop here, I mean, Varner's basically automatic for his career. You might start packing in, or at least call your timeouts. Hand off Bentley. 3rd and 2, got a first down. There is a flag. Oh my goodness, Steven, is it going to happen again? Is it going to happen again? In the clutch? You remember?
I do.
You
I don't want to say
the Tallahassee game.
I don't want to say it.
Oh no!
No!
You've got to be kidding me. It's only fitting, Steven. K.L. Barrett is called for clipping. It'll move them out of field goal range.
Unbelievable. Good. Clipping and Mexico City, if you don't know, I'm sure you do, have a disastrous history with one another. And this could just be the latest chapter of the Aztecs' fight with the Stripes, man.
Unbelievable. Ball's at the 41 now. And Ramos says, good night, people. Probably can't believe. 3rd and 11, deep drop. Wilson fires down the field and is caught by Barrett. How about redemption for K.L. Barrett? And he stays in bounds to burn a timeout.
Come back, Ramos. Come back, baby. It's looking good. It's looking real good because of that man right there. Number 19, K.L. Barrett. Clutch. Look, Cam, Hamrack all over him. Probably committing PI penalties, right? Pass interference penalties left and right. Trying to hold that big fella down. Couldn't be held down. 1st and 10 is the 24. Run this ball and run this clock, Mexico City.
Chicago cannot give up another first down, or this game is basically over outside of a blocked field goal. Hand off to Bentley. And remember, the blocked extra point is the only reason why we're talking about Chicago potentially losing this game right now.
Right, and if you're Chicago, you've got one. You cannot allow them to get another first down. Absolutely can't do that. This game is pretty much over on a field goal attempt. You've got to be thinking about after the field goal, all you need is a field goal. So you need to try and conserve as much time as you can for your offense.
2 backs and 2 receivers for Wilson. Nickel look for Chicago's defense. Desperate for a stop. Oh, they got it. Dylan Rowland smashes Bentley up the middle. And Steven, I want to get your opinion here. I don't think there's any scenario in which Mexico City even wants to score a touchdown, right? You just want to run the clock.
That's true. I mean, we've seen situations like this before where it seems like the defense will allow them to get the touchdown so that they can have the time on the clock to try to give their offense an opportunity to get the ball down the field and get in the end zone themselves. But I think you're right. I think they just try to salt as much time away as they can. And their defense has been playing so well in this game, maybe you just trust them.
And Ray didn't get anything as he was trying to get to the outside. That's Hendershot on the stop. So that means that Chicago can potentially still win the game. There will be enough time on the clock. I'm actually surprised that they didn't try to air it out with Wilson to at least pick up the first down, because you're going to get a field goal anyway.
You can't risk turning it over, Cam. You just can't do that. It's game over.
40-yarder for Varner. This gives Mexico City the lead, and that field goal is good.
Wow.
And we're not done yet. Chicago gets the stop. They'll get the ball back one last time to try to clinch a playoff spot.
Well, these are the moments where if you're an SF GM or coach, that you hope that you've invested money into that kicking position, because that's when you need it the most. Although we've seen these contract kickers do some amazing things, but that pressure on the line, that was a big kick by Varner.
Steven, why did Chicago snap that earlier than they needed to?
Mexico City, you mean? Yeah, it looks like it. They left a lot of time on the clock.
Why did they do that? There were 17 seconds on the play clock. I don't know if that was ill-advised or what, but if Chicago ends up doing something in the last 17 seconds, they're going to look back and shake their head on that.
Yeah, honestly, it may just be a reaction to that penalty, Cam. Like, do you really trust the refs to get it right after you feel like they've scored you so many times? They may have just wanted to get the points on the board, and they're going to trust their really top-notch defense here to get the job done.
1st and 10 at the 22. This is King going long. It's caught by Torres. How many times have we seen E.T. King? He has 2 game-winning drives, and just last week in Houston, Torres on a corner route caught a big one to start the drive.
Cam, that was huge, and this is right in E.T. King's wheelhouse. These are the kind of plays they've been making all night. These one-on-one 50-50 ball throws to his receivers, and for the most part, his receivers have been coming down with it, making big plays. Why would we think it would be any different now when they need to move the ball downfield fast?
And he gets out of bounds. Chicago 6-4 coming in. 2 of those 6 games on game-winning E.T. King drives in the final 2 minutes, and one of them coming against Mexico City. 1st and 10 at the 48. Out of the eye now. King going to drop back to throw deep, going long down the middle of the field. It's intercepted by Jeffrey Daggs. The game is over, and Mexico City's going to finish 8-4, and Chicago is going to be playing for their lives next week on Blitz.
Well, Cam, I was about to mention it before this play. You know, E.T. King, he's going for it. You can tell he's looking deep. He wants to make that dagger play to end this game, but we've seen him burn this season time and time again. And what a clutch play for Mexico City's defense. The Aztecs able to survive here in Chicago and come out with a win.
And Queen City, Las Vegas, and Tulsa, who are all 5-6 now, rejoicing because there's a second team that will have 6 wins heading into week 13. What a way to end the season for Mexico City. They're going to finish 8-4, and they will be watching next week where they end up in the playoff seeding. A top 6 spot still available, potentially to them, depending upon what all goes down. What a way to end it. Jeffrey Daggs, who was burned a couple of times tonight, ends up just like KL, getting some redemption late.
And Cam, if you're Chicago, how do you come back from this really moral defeat in your own home, knowing you've got to go to Tallahassee next week?
Oh my. Wow. What a game. And what to say. Look at that. Look at the total yards, almost dead even. Time of possession, almost dead even. That third turnover. The big difference. I can't believe it's over.
Yeah, Cam, what a great contest. These two, really, it felt like Chicago was in control of this game from the start. And Mexico City, they just do what they do. You know, they continue to chip away at that lead, and it just they started to build confidence. And that turnover by E.T. King with the interception by Gawa was huge in changing that momentum and in this game, I believe. And even as we're seeing that pickoff by Chicago, their defense was answered right after this by Mexico City's defense with another interception that we'll see here by E.T. King. So, you know, these defenses really played well down the stretch, gave their offenses opportunities. They, for the most part, took advantage of those opportunities, and Chicago literally was within about 15 yards of winning this game, and just through the unfortunate pick to end their game and hopefully not their season.
Steven, I'll give you the floor. What do you want to say to SFL Nation?
Well, first of all, I've got to thank you for this opportunity. You know, we started this journey a long time ago with me coming in and doing some playoff games, coming in and doing the championship game with you and Corky and Demond, and then it just kind of built from there. And as we've built this broadcasting group, you know, me and you have had this spotlight in the SFL that it's been an honor to have. And I've always said this as an owner, as a player, as someone who's been in this league a long time. The reason I did this for so long and even stayed doing it for so long was because of my respect and my love for the other owners and their teams and these players and all these staffers and the guys that sacrifice. I want to give them the best game possible. And this guy here, the extraordinary Everest MVP, player of the game, Richard Montague, just did that with 2 touchdowns. 7 receptions for 75 yards. Congratulations. But really, I'm the one who is really thankful for what happened. Not just tonight, but what you've allowed me to do here. And I'm not gone, guys. I'm still here. It's just this will be the last one I'll do regularly with Cameron. But certainly this relationship is not over.
Well, for Nathan Blake, Stephen Mullinex, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of Simulation Football League. Way goodbye, Stephen.
Goodbye.